Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be about fixing your central electronics failure on your BMW. Now many of you will remember I did one of these many years ago, but as times have changed, there's been a lot more issues that people are having with the central electronics failure that they're failing to diagnose, which is very common. As the years go on, these cars have got older and more problems are arising. So I'm here to show you and help you be able to fix these issues a lot easier than you would from my last video of doing that central electronics failure. Because as I said, a lot of the problems are either caused by water ingress, bad modules by design when the cars were released, and obviously just from the car actually sitting and not getting no use whatsoever, which causes these central electronics failure problems in the first place. Like for instance, where the car hasn't been driven because it had an issue, or where the car has either been taken through what a lot of people end up realizing after a car wash, after they go through a car wash, they'll end up with central electronics failure. So let's get onto this video and I'll explain to you the things, what causes the central electronics failure on your BMW. And this applies for all BMWs. Okay guys, so under the engine bay, the first one you're going to want to look at for central electronics failure is right here. Now in the US, this will be on my driver's side, which will be your passenger side, which will be over there where the ECU area sits. Now, what ends up happening to cause an electronics failure, I'll tell you right now, is you get a lot of leaves and debris that build up in here, inside this area. It's not cleaned out where you can see the scuttle where the water's meant to run down on the side here. What ends up happening is water ends up getting in down there into the ECU area box. There's little plugs down there which you should really pull out to let the water drain. It doesn't build up. A lot of people ain't aware of that. What ends up happening is water gets down here. It ends up floating about as the car moves, as you go along. And that water ends up destroying either the ECU or all the fuses, and it ends up getting into the ECU box itself. And if many of you guys know who've been down here in the ECU box, there's a lot of fuses and wiring that live down there. You will see in many videos I've done removing that. There's a lot of different fuses and wiring there. What ends up happening with water left in there when the car's left sitting, condensation ends up building up inside that box, which then ends up corroding the DME, ends up destroying all the wiring, the fuses, which will then lead to a central electronics failure. Do make sure to check this area purely because the ECU is very fragile, especially on these engines. And I've known it to be on the 1 Series as well. The 1 Series ends up getting the ECUs destroyed from that as well, where nobody ends up pulling the plugs. They are rubber plugs, you won't feel them. The best way to get to them is to go in through the wheel arch and come up and be able to pull the rubber bungs out. There's one on this side and one on the other side. Pull them both out because I'm going to tell you about the other side in a second. But yes, water does get into here and it ends up sitting down here in the ECU box, especially if that bung is still sitting there and everything else is blocked. Water will sit there and like I say, condensation will get in, just destroy the electronics here. And once that's done, basically you'll need to dry it out, clean off the pins, probably get a new ECU. It's not worth it. ECU might still work, but you end up with a central electronics failure, your gear shifter not moving or your engine acting funny purely because of that reason. Now that brings me to the next side, which is this side. Now, this will be on your driver's side in the US because obviously this is where your brake booster is, which is under here. Again, this is a known place for water ingress to build up in the brake servo area, and there's a wiring loom that comes through here. If water builds up here, what ends up happening is the wiring loom that runs down the side of the car. That wiring loom that you'll find down here from the brake booster, coming out from the brake booster, is actually for all the CAS, DME that runs all the engine wiring. Now what ends up happening if water builds up down here, again, water will get through into that wiring harness, start destroying the pins, causing corrosion on the pins and condensation in all the wiring, which then in turn ends up stopping your car starting or will cause the central electronics failure. Both these areas are very easy to get water into, so you've got to be aware of that. They do get water in very easily as well if the bungs ain't been pulled out. Majority of the time, if you was to buy a BMW that say has been with an old person for many years, always looked after by BMW or garages, them bungs will not be pulled out. If it's from an enthusiast, most of the time, them bungs will be pulled out. If they are not pulled out, you're going to have all to hell to pay because they do cause central electronics failure, will cause it. It's especially because the wiring loom's here, the ECU's there. I know people are going to say, why did BMW do that? But how else were they going to run the wiring loom from to anywhere where it needs to go from the ABS pump and everything else that needs to come into the engine bay as well from the engine. But yes, so that wiring harness down here is very, very critical. Water will get into the footwell as well. And the footwell, where the water leaks down from here, from the firewall, it ends up touching the CAS and everything else as well down there, which you don't want. So do make sure to check them areas for bungs, because that will cause a central electronics failure if you do not check them. Now another one down here now, this 6 Series doesn't have it, but many of you guys know 5 Series, 3 Series do, is ground straps in the engine area. There's a lot of ground straps. They usually run to here, to the chassis and touching onto the chassis along here from obviously the valve covers, most of them. This one doesn't have one, but most of you all know from the E60s, E90s, you've got ground straps. Be sure to check your ground straps, make sure they're clean and they ground properly and they are tightened. If a ground strap is loose and it ain't grounding properly, you will have central electronics failure. Either your engine won't be running right, you have misfires, or your electronics will be going haywire. The ground is very, very important on these cars. So do make sure if you've got grounds and you've seen them on your car, look around for grounds. They're usually in the engine area or in the car area. They will be the most cause of central electronics failure. Okay, so another one that causes central electronics failure. First one we'll talk about in the rear here is the battery. A dead battery is going to make your electronics go haywire on the car and cause central electronics failure without a doubt. If your battery is low and your battery's not been registered, that is going to cause a central electronics failure, but purely because the car does not know what battery is in it. It doesn't know if it's fully charged. It doesn't know if it is charged or dead. It doesn't know nothing. So of course it's going to send all your electronics haywire. Secondly, obviously the battery is linked on with the IBS. The IBS is then linked on with all the other modules, the DME and everything else. So if it can't get a proper reading, it's going to send your electronics in the car haywire in the beginning. So you have to make sure the battery is registered and also make sure your battery is new and able to be able to start the car, is running correctly. A lot of people just seem to think they can throw in a battery on a BM and it's going to be fine. That's simply not the case. You cannot just throw a battery into a BMW and it's going to work like any other car. It doesn't work like that. Doing that is going to fry your electronics quick time. The next one on these is if you've got a 2003 to 2005 BMW, especially an E60, you will have a micro power module, which will be located somewhere in here. This is what this old area is for, to put the micro power module. You can probably see under there as well. If I lift that out, you can then see all the fuse area, module area, and this is where all the modules would go. You can see here, if I pull this one just out, this is the parking sensor module, which is there, and usually they would have an micro power module in here as well on that area. So do make sure to actually check that, because the micro power module can be responsible for your central electronics failure as well, because central electronics usually means it's in the center console, so it's affecting the iDrive system and it affects the instrument cluster and everything along them lines. And usually what controls that is the micro power module. If the micro power module gets water inside, which is a common problem on these, water does get into the boot area. On the older ones, will fry the micro power module, and if it fries the micro power module, you'll lose all access to all your electronics, which is not a good thing. It's a very, very known weak point. You can just disconnect the module, be able to check the pins for corrosion or any kind of water ingress. But once water usually enters, they are completely fried. I've actually got one right here. I'll be showing you in a second how water got into it and completely just killed out the whole module. This car doesn't have the micro power module because they integrated the MPM into the KGM. So that's no longer a thing anymore. But older ones did have that and they run on the KBM, not the KGM. So therefore the MPM was separate from the KGM. So you've got to remember that. So you've always got a micro power module. Hence why I always tell many of you guys, don't buy an older E60, don't at all, but purely because that micro power module, the amount of electronic issues they have is a big, big cause of the issues. And most people who are going to watch this video are going to be the ones with a 2003 to a 2005 having these issues. Now, if we just take a look there, this is one of the old micro power modules, and you can see there all the corrosion on them pins right there. This is where a micro power module, and you can see it is one of them. All the corrosion from water ingress got into it, and nobody was none the wiser. It took me a lot of diagnosis to find what the issue was in the end, but I ended up finding it, and it ended up being a micro power module. Now, to the untrained eye, if I show you the casing, it doesn't look like anything's wrong with it. But then when you look here, look at the corrosion on that, and this sits face down like that, so you wouldn't even see that unless you take it off. But you can see there the amount of corrosion on that where water had got in. And you can see there all the pins completely corroded and destroyed. And this is what I mean, guys. This is the kind of stuff you need to check for, because this causes central electronics failure. This is what I mean. This is BMW's flawed purely for letting water get into the cars. But you can see there, I'm not lying. Up here as well, everything looks fine. You can see there on the module, everything looks fine here. But then as you turn it over, all the pins are literally all come off. You can see possibly here, just completely destroyed. Every single one, all the corrosion here, rusted up. There's nothing you can do with that module whatsoever. You have to end up buying a new one. It wasn't easy to code it and program it in, because obviously you have to link it to all the other modules. But that goes to show you why you need to check your micropower module and why you need to check modules in the car, because this is what ends up happening. And people are none the wiser. Unless you tear them down, you would not have seen this, because by the naked eye, all the pins look fine, everything looks fine. But then you look here and then you see all the corrosion. Unless you tore that down, you wouldn't have known that. Now, another one that can cause central electronics failure, which is very well known, and I've done videos on this before, is the KBM module and the KGM. Now, what ends up happening is BMW had a bad batch of them many years ago, and they caused a lot of issues. And you guys will remember on my E60 M5, I had a bad one where the chip had blown for the washer fluid and the washer fluid wouldn't operate. I then changed the module and it ended up operating. Now I got lucky on that. That could have been a central electronics failure, but it wasn't. But many people already know this, that the KBM does go 40 euro, change it, you code it, you program it, and it ends up stopping your central electronics failure, because the KBMs there was a known faulty batch from 2003 to 2005, which caused this car to produce so much heat on that module that the chips end up coming away and melting away from the actual board, which ended up causing a central electronics failure as well. That wasn't due to water ingress, that was just due to a bad batch. So try and get the later model number if you can, because BMW did revise that, I think 3 times on the KBMs, because there were known culprit for the central electronics failure. Another one on these is the iDrive system. The iDrive system, if that goes out, that can make the whole car haywire. The iDrive system, as many of you guys know, is here. And when the chips start coming away on them, which they're prone to, unless most of them have been rebuilt in this day and age. But if it hasn't, again, if you've got one from someone that's been taking it to BMW all his life, maybe it would have been under warranty and put a new one in, but the chips will still do the same thing. The iDrive can cause a lot of hell. And what ends up happening is a lot of people end up taking it out, they end up breaking some of the wires on the back without even realizing. They go to push the radio back, the wiring ends up getting trapped, causing central electronics failure. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is that iDrive integrates with everything on the car. So it integrates with the cluster, it integrates with the steering column, the IHKA, it integrates with basically even the shifter. A lot of people ain't aware of that. This iDrive system integrates with everything on the car. If the iDrive system goes down, the majority of this case is everything else going to go down. Yes, you can drive out the iDrive system, but you probably realize you get no sounds, you'll get no radio, you'll have no information whatsoever. You can't do nothing without the iDrive. The iDrive on these is basically the brain of the whole car. A lot of people don't realize that and then end up just throwing the radio back when they reinstall it and end up crushing all the wiring. Once you cross the wiring, you'll end up with central electronics failure. Be careful if you do have to remove that your wiring is put back correctly, especially the fiber optic connector, because if you destroy that, then you're in a world of problems, because you're having to repair that to put it back on. But they do cause central electronics failures, and I've seen them many times, along with the clusters. The clusters on the E60s have caused central electronics failure as well. You guys would have seen that on my video as well. When you pull the fuse, it stops everything going on and off. It's very common for that to happen. You just got to be aware of what the issue is. Now, this is another one. Many people will be thinking, why am I facing you towards the rear lights? You don't realize how important these rear lights are to central electronics failure. So the rear lights, what people don't understand is when you go through a car wash, you've got little gaps here where water can seep through. Now, if water seeps through these lights, it ends up causing central electronics failure. Why? Because these lights are grounded to the car, and there's ground cables all around on the body here of your BMWs without you even realizing. If you used to remove every carpet, every layout, you'll see a big load of wires with all ground cables going into a strap that's actually strapped to the body, to the chassis itself. You would have seen it on when I've done retrofits for the rear lights and things like that, where a man would put the ground cable into it. If this gets a load of water into them, especially into the lights, you've got to remember they've got a connector with a ground pin in them. These use a connector to obviously make the power to the lights. If water gets inside, even into the headlight, it's going to cause central electronics failure purely because it's disturbing the ground wire on the lights. So it's going to cause the whole car to go out because it's to do with the electronics. Now, a lot of people ain't aware of that. Any ground on these BMWs is very, very important. One ground goes out will cause the whole lot of the central electronics to go down. Do not think because it's only one ground it won't cause it, because it will, because they're all grounded together. And there's a lot of grounds on BMWs. You probably lift up the seats on the 6 Series as well, and you have grounds behind there, right in the corner. They can't get touched. But the ones in the boot area are very critical, especially on the E60. You remove the 2 side panels and you'll have grounds right there with a junction box that links on, as I said to you, to the car's body. Make sure to check all them grounds because, like I said, water does get through the lights, especially on the E60 where it comes down the boot and ends up getting into the lights, which then causes central electronics failure. These have been a known big problem as well. So make sure to check your lights. It's a way overlooked problem for central electronics failure, but lights is a big thing. And the reason I'm bringing it up is purely because a lot of people go through car washes as these cars are aging. Obviously, wiring starts getting more frail and they start corroding more. So it's something you have to check for. I would check them at least every 3 months, especially in raining weather or when you go for a car wash, always check them just to make sure there's no water ingress that's got into them, because one little bit of water is going to throw off the whole rest of the electronics and then you're going to be in problems. So there you have it, guys. I've now walked you through how to fix the central electronics failure on your BMW. And as I said, do not think it can't happen, because it can happen and it will. Just look at this, like I showed you, this circuit board was destroyed from water ingress and along with that. And nobody would have seen that because of the way it faces downwards like this and it sits on the car. So nobody wouldn't be able to see that unless they took it off. But I managed to see straight away from the rust here. And like I said, you couldn't even see on the board unless you removed the board completely to see how corroded the board actually was. But you can see there how bad water ingress is entered. If people just look at it normally, look at the pins, they think, no, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't be fooled, because it does get in and it gets into the module just like this one did. So like I said to you guys, do be aware of that. And like I said to you, don't overlook the grounds. Don't straight away think it's a module, because the grounds are a big culprit as to why central electronics failure happens in the first place. You need to look at all your grounds. If realistically, get yourself a multimeter and be checking the grounds. That's probably the best way I can tell you how to be able to diagnose that, because even a diagnostics tool is not going to be able to check your grounds for you. That is going to require a multimeter to be able to check all your grounds properly and to make sure they're functioning correctly and they are all grounding. If one isn't grounding, then you found the issue. It's very, very simple with a multimeter to put it on onto the ground setting and to be able to check the grounds as well. It's not difficult at all. You don't need to check no voltage drop. You don't need to check any kind of voltage. It's just straight if it's grounding or not. If it's not grounding, that is your issue. So I hope this video is going to help many of you with your central electronics failure problem. And like I said, just don't let your brain run wonders thinking it's this, thinking it's that. Remember, the correct diagnosis will lead you to the correct problem. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.